Hello, and welcome to another edition of Tom's Moments That Matter. Wouldn't it feel great to step back into time when life moved just a little bit slower? When you'd hear, the crackle of the vinyl record spinning, or the glow of a jukebox light in the corner of a diner, or neighbors that actually sat on the porch and waved to you as you walked by. Today I want to talk to you about something timeless, something that the world needed then, and something that the world still needs now. Your light. And your light matters. Back then, it didn't matter if you were famous. Ordinary people like parents and teachers and neighbors were the ones shining their light every single day. And friend, the same is very true for today. Let me take you back, way back to the 1960s. Before cell phones, before the internet, before families had all these gadgets, but we often sat around in the living room watching a glowing object, the television. And sometimes, when the power went out during the storm, the whole block would suddenly go dark. Do you remember what happened next? One by one, as the power came back on, the porch lights would begin to flick on. And just like that, the neighborhood would feel alive again. People would peek out the window, wave to each other, maybe even check in on an older couple down the street. That little glow on the porch wasn't just a light, it was comfort, it was safety, and it was hope. In the same way, in the 70s, kids carried transistor radios. Remember them? I remember at night lying in bed, tuning through the static until suddenly you catch a song that would lift your whole heart. One little signal traveling miles through the air, and suddenly you weren't alone. That's how life works. You may feel like your porch light is small or your signal is weak, but to someone lost in the dark, it makes all the difference. Now think about it. In the 60s and 70s, so many simple gestures stood out. A teacher staying after school to help a struggling student. Or maybe a neighbor dropping a plate of cookies off. How great would that be? Chocolate chip. A friend making a mix tape for you on a cassette tape. None of these people made the headlines, but those were small lights meant something to us. Maybe you felt invisible. You show up for your family, you work hard, you help where you can, and you wonder if it really matters. But just like those porch lights and the transistor radios, your light reaches farther than you realize. Back in those days, you'd spin the radio dial until you found the right channel. Now, you couldn't see the radio announcer, but their voice came through clear, bringing comfort and joy. That's your kindness, your encouragement. It echoes into lives that you may never know. So here's a little challenge for you this week. Shine your light the old school way. Write a handwritten note. What's that? Pick up the phone. Yeah, actually pick up the phone. Not a text, but actually pick up the phone. Or bake something and knock on your neighbor's door the way folks used to do. It doesn't have to be huge. Even one simple act of kindness can brighten someone's life more than you can ever imagine. So here's today's moments that matter. Just like the porch light in the dark, your kindness will tell someone they're not alone. Just like the radio signal, your encouragement travels farther than you think. And just like those simple gestures we remember from decades ago, your steady presence may be what keeps someone going. So friend, your light still matters. Don't hide it. Don't hold back. Someone out there is looking for your light, and only you can give it. Listen, thanks for joining me on this episode of Tom's Moments That Matter. And if this has lifted your spirits, give it a thumbs up, okay? Share it with someone who needs a reminder, and don't forget to subscribe, and you won't miss the next one. And as always, remember, every moment matters, especially this one. Listen, thanks for popping in, and we'll see you on the next one.